Part 2 of the Weekly Waffle. Danny, Racetrack Ralphy, Danny Power.
Take me through this.
This Weekly Waffle has been upgraded to Group 1 status, as has the Makybe Diva.
Oh, yes.
Now, we both, as I've seen a lot of social media about it, scratch our head and say, what are these people on about? Now, we both disagree with it happening, but we're coming from different angles. What is your take on why it's such a dumb decision?
First of all, it's not. I've got a couple of reasons. Traditionally, it's a lead-up race.
Yep.
Same as the Memsey being made at Group 1. Nonsense.
Yes.
Lead-up races, they're not target races. 2, not won by genuine milers.
Yes.
Generally won by quality horses, but quality horses on the up.
Now, Alan Brown, the patent committee, just to play the devil's advocate, said on Shane Anderson's RSN show that you could equally say that the Golden Slippers are a lead-up race to a size produce, or the Caulfield Cup's a lead-up to the Melbourne Cup.
So if he's in charge of making these decisions and he's making a statement like that, he should be off the board. That is the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard.
Devil's advocate. I've made some ridiculous statements, but you reckon he's got me covered?
He's got you covered.
Righto. Okay. So
look, I don't know Alan Brown very well. I've met him, and he's a very intelligent man and quite a nice fellow. But as Richie would say, great bloke. But
good to have lunch with.
Yeah. But the decision is now based on these international rating figures. So what are we going to do now? Every 2 or 3 years, it's going to change. What if this race doesn't rate well in the next 3 years? Are they going to bring it back to a Group 2? It's a nonsense. It needs its place in the spring is as a Group 2 lead up. It's traditionally regarded as a Group 2. Changing it to a Group 1 won't make one iota difference to the quality of the horses.
What about this figure here now? Their argument is 19,000 European races, roughly, 86 Group 1s. We've got 17,000 races in the country for 72 Group 1s.
All of Europe, and who cares how many Group 1s
But equally, you say Europe doesn't have the lead-up culture that we do.
No, because quite often a horse, they do all their work. A horse will run first up at 2,400 metres in the target race.
Yes.
It's only occasionally will they have a lead-up race to a target race.
But Bart's horses hardly target the Memsey first up, for instance, in the spring.
No, that's why when you look at probably the history of the Memsey, apart from So You Think, Bart probably hasn't won it that often.
And that showed you how good So You Think was.
But he was a quality horse, but he was... Can you tell me that he was at his optimum when he won the Memsey?
No.
No.
And I remember on the day, he backed Who We Got You, who was a star as well. And I bumped into a ratings mate who's very, very smart, and he just said, well, they can't beat him again for the rest of the spring. If they can do that first up, so in other words, it wasn't his target, and it wouldn't have been his target even if it was
They're saying the Makybe Diva is now a Group 1 race because of its Group 1 quality. Yes, won by 3 Group 1 race horses last year. Won by Southern Speed
last year, who was out of form.
But it's Group 1. Where did it win its group? A 2,400 metre handicap carrying no weight. Not at weight for age
Beat
over a mile.
last year.
Beat Manigan. The year before,
Littorio.
He won his Group 1 at 2,400 metres. He also won a Turnbull at 2,000. But how's his form at Group 1 at a mile?
Yes.
Apart from that, he's not a Group 1 miler. Before that, shocking.
Yes.
Shocking. 3,200 metre handicap Group 1 was probably his highest rating race, and he did win an Australian Cup. But how's his record at a mile? Not Group 1. Before that, Vigor won it. Vigor, a Group 3 horse, won.
I think this is showing why Gerard Whiteley's very lucky that he got in first, because you are the voice of reason in that respect. But equally, this rating stuff now, I've got totally admiration for the people who do the ratings, but last year they said the Dardo didn't rate high enough. Now,
didn't.
Happy Trails went on to win an Emirates, also at a mile, beat Green Moon, went on to win a Melbourne Cup. Now, fourth in the race was Linton, the Stradbroke winner. So you'd have to say that's Group 1 form compared to what we had last time, but I suspect because it was a smaller field and the pace wasn't that strong, they'd say, well, the rating isn't as high.
Well, they just didn't rate Happy Trails. They didn't rate Happy Trails.
The race was better. Full stop.
Race was
Here's the other couple of stats. That's how many more people will watch. That's how many more people will turn up. And that's how much extra money will be bet on that Group 1. Yeah. And what they're not taking into account, this 17,000 figure, you know, all these races around here, rubbish. All these races around here, rubbish.
Don't forget Broome. And Wyndham.
Yeah, all these races from, say, Kalgoorlie all the way across to Mildura, rubbish.
Yeah.
And in the Northern Territory. So that's the reaction.
Yeah.
It's my Mr Squiggle.
I don't mind your son
Sharp.
coming in and doodling on our
Buddy.
whiteboard. Your son doodling on our whiteboard, but
I make JV switch your camera
That's
just
a
for that
smile.
shit. Can you believe it? Hey, Brisbane, good quality racing up in Brisbane. Linton's
Fantastic.
race.
Yeah.
Linton beat the gallant Buffering, who I reckon the best comparison I've heard now. He is the Stuart McGill of racing. So he's a star, but he's just, because Warning's there, he's been bumping into a Black Caviar and Hay List, and he's carried 58, he's at the end of his distance range, and gets knocked off by a freak rails ride.
he's yeah. Look, you're fantastic. But he's always going to set those sort of races up because he's carrying weight now. He's setting those races up for a blouser.
Yeah.
Really good horse bloused him. A horse that's promised to do something like that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Magnificently trained, very good ride, but a fluke.
Yep.
You know, not
Yeah.
for some reason. Blokes who stay on the fence because they've got no other option and get a lucky run are geniuses.
Yeah.
It's the blokes that make the move at the right time and all that. Yeah.
Well, there were 3 rides like that in recent times in big races that were similar. Linton,
Yeah.
Pinker in the Cox Plate,
Yeah.
Shamrocker in the Australian Guineas, Bossy, freak ride. But all 3 from Modern Roughies, you can't ride favourites like that.
No.
So when you're on a roughie, you can go for that miracle shot.
When you ride for luck,
Yeah.
you need luck.
Yeah.
He got luck.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Yossé Michelle rode Yossé for luck, was in front of Linton, got off the
And
fence,
had to. There was no run. She had to get off.
and actually took the run Linton tried for and missed. So Linton had no option.
Yeah.
Look, but he gave that winner 12 lengths from the 300.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful performance. Now you can't sprint like that at weight for age where you're carrying the same weights. You always get these exciting races in handicaps. Someone's even thinking of making the Stradbroke a weight for age race.
Why?
Because they're idiots.
But Buffering, when it comes to spring, now that the Moy's being upgraded to Group 1, you've got
Moy's a Group 1.
You've got the Mooney Valley Tabaret Welter, that's now
That's
Group 1.
yeah.
The Villiers Pies Handicap, that's now Group 1. So he could win 7 or 8 Group 1s this spring.
Tour of
That
Australia
weight
is now
all
a Group 1.
So
You know why
yeah.
the Tour of Australia is Group 1? Because Cadell Evans once went in it.
there you go.
Because he lifted the rating of the race.
Uh,
Couldn't win it.
And here's the other thing, you know those people who say, oh, keep something for the owners, these 2-year-olds, don't show trials to the public.
Yeah.
Let's keep some information from the punters.
Yeah.
Right, so no one bets in the race.
Yeah.
Team Malua, so Sadler and
Yeah.
Troy Corsons,
Yeah.
they posted the YouTube video of its trial
Yep.
against Shamrocker, who's going to England.
Yeah.
Told everyone the horse was flying,
Yeah.
and you couldn't have got worse than 30-1.
Johnny Sadler got on Sport 927 and pleaded with people to back the horse.
Exactly.
Pleaded.
So if
I
the
didn't.
whole race,
I don't listen to John Sadler.
but if the whole race has information there, unlike 2-year-olds with restricted information, people will bet, and you still get a good price.
Yeah. Look. Yeah. Well, that's just a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's an extra cost for owners, but really, it should be just for 2-year-olds
Yep.
that haven't raced, that we haven't seen, must trial in public.
Hawk's Spur was terrific, but my favourite saying in racing is, you know, Dan, it's easier to be unlucky than it is to win. Survived, was unlucky in the lead up. Let's go truckloaded. Jay Riddell, Jay Cassidy, on pacer, wide drawn, back marker, but they wanted to shovel on to survive. Just back the one that's up front doing the work and with a good jockey on it.
Yeah, he lost a pot bit, Joe Riddell.
A lot.
Yeah,
A lot.
yes.
Yeah.
But look, and he wasn't the only one. I can't forget who drove Usanity, but why did he take off at the... Like, I spoke to Murray Baker the morning of the race. He said, I'm a bit worried about him running the trip. I don't think he's a genuine 24. So you take off at the 800?
That's it, gives it a chance. And Romantic Touch, superstar. I'll say for this reason.
You and Gay are gone together. She's declared it her new Piero.
Apparently Gay can train Group 1 winners. That's been lost over the past 2 months. But here's
It
why.
was a very... Look, I don't think it was a high-rating race.
No.
I think Zoostar's a very honest horse. But I don't think it's a great high-rating race.
But that's why the market tells me that actually this horse has got lengths up its sleeve, because on its Sydney data, it's
Yeah.
working with Vince Cardi on Carnival,
Yeah.
and he said it should be $1.26.
Yeah, well, he was right.
But it drifted out to 2.90, so that probably told you it didn't parade well, it travelled badly, all those things, yet Nash was kind to it. It's probably got lengths improvement up its sleeve with a nice spell and hit the Spring Carnival. So I'm very confident.
Oh, look, I think it's a pretty good horse, and I suspect you'll set him for the Golden Rose.
Yeah. Is that Group 1?
It's a Group 1.
Yeah.
But we've only had it for 3 years.
That's
They
Group
made
one.
it. They couldn't
Yeah.
wait to get it to a Group 1 level.
Anyway.
But because it's worth $1 million and let's get to the Group. But admittedly, the Golden Race has been won by genuine quality horses.
All the form from Moonee Valley, 4.49 via the App Store, and if we get it wrong this week, Dan, we'll be sad.
I'll be doing the maps next week.